My name is Jake Brown, and this is the story of how my wife's fitness journey destroyed our marriage, and how I made sure everyone knew exactly what kind of exercise she'd really been doing. It started on a Monday morning in October. My truck wouldn't start. Dead battery, clicking sounds, the whole 9 yards. I sat there in the driver's seat, turning the key uselessly while checking the time on my phone. 6:47 a.m. Sarah had already left for her women's running group over an hour ago, just like she had every morning for the past 3 months. Best decision I ever made, she told me just last week, practically glowing with enthusiasm. The women in this group are so inspiring, Jake. You should see how dedicated we all are. We push each other to be better. I'd smiled and kissed her forehead, genuinely proud of my wife for sticking to her fitness goals. After 15 years of marriage, watching her find something she was passionate about made me happy. We'd been together since college. Sarah with her business degree, me with my engineering background. 2 kids, Emma and Tyler, now 12 and 10. We owned a nice 4-bedroom house in the suburbs, had 2 cars, a golden retriever named Max. The American dream, or so I thought. I grabbed Sarah's car keys from the hook by the door. Her Honda Civic would have to do. I had a major presentation at 9 a.m. that I couldn't miss. The Peterson project we'd been working on for 6 months was finally ready to present to the board. The moment I opened her car door, something felt off. The Civic smelled like her usual vanilla perfume mixed with something else, something masculine and unfamiliar. I brushed it off initially, reaching under the seat for the phone charger she always kept there. My fingers touched fabric instead of the charging cable. I pulled out a Nike dry-fit shirt, size large, navy blue with neon green accents. The smell hit me immediately. Axe body spray, the Phoenix scent specifically, the kind 20-something guys drench themselves in at the gym. My stomach turned as I held it up to the morning light. I wore medium, had for years. And Axe? I hadn't worn that since college, and even then, only because Sarah bought it for me as a joke gift after complaining about how every guy in her dorm reeked of it. Time seemed to stop as I sat in my driveway, holding another man's shirt, my mind racing through possibilities. Maybe it belonged to someone from her running group who needed a ride. But why would it be hidden under the seat? And why was it a men's shirt if she ran with women? The fabric was expensive, moisture-wicking, the kind serious athletes wore. It had been worn recently. I could smell the dried sweat mixed with that obnoxious body spray. My hands were shaking as I pulled out my phone. 3 months ago, when Sarah started her running group, she'd insisted on sharing her Strava runs with me for safety. "If anything happens, you'll know exactly where I am," she'd said, setting up the location sharing. "Plus, you can see all my progress. Maybe it'll inspire you to start running too." At the time, I'd thought it was sweet, maybe a bit overcautious, but I'd agreed. Now, staring at that shirt, I was grateful for her safety precaution. I opened the app and clicked on her profile. There it was, this morning's run, still in progress. A 5-mile route through the Riverside neighborhood, same as always. Her pace was consistent, her heart rate data showing steady effort. But something made me look closer at the route itself. I zoomed in on the map, following the little blue line that marked her path. 2 miles out from our house, heading north through the residential streets, past the elementary school around the pond. Then the line stopped moving. The GPS dot sat stationary at one address for... I checked the timestamps, did the math. 45 minutes. 45 minutes completely still. Then the line picked up again for the 3-mile return journey. My fingers felt numb as I scrolled back through her previous runs. Yesterday, same pattern. 2 miles out, 45-minute stationary at the same location, 3 miles back. Saturday, identical. Friday, the same. I kept scrolling, my heart sinking with each run. Every single morning for the past 3 months showed the exact same thing. 2 miles out, 45-minute stationary at 1847 Cedar Lane, 3 miles back. I sat in the car for 10 minutes, staring at the screen, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. Part of me wanted to drive to work, pretend I'd never found the shirt, never looked at the GPS data. Maybe there was an innocent explanation. Maybe the running group met at someone's house for stretching or breakfast but 45 minutes? Every single day? And why hadn't she ever mentioned stopping somewhere? I thought back to all our morning conversations. "How was your run?" I'd ask when she got home. "Great," she'd always say. "We did 5 miles today, really pushed ourselves." She'd talk about the other women, their conversations, how they motivated each other. Linda, who was training for a marathon. Patricia, who'd lost 30 pounds. Monica, who ran despite her bad knee. Were any of them real? I called my boss, Richard, my voice surprisingly steady. "Hey, Rich, having car trouble this morning. I'll be in as soon as I can." "No problem, Jake. The Peterson presentation isn't until 9. You'll make it?" "Absolutely," I lied. I had no idea what I'd be doing at 9. My entire world had tilted off its axis in the span of 15 minutes. I went back inside and grabbed my bike from the garage, my movements mechanical, automatic. Sarah thought I was at work. Her run would end in about 40 minutes. She'd be home by 7:30, shower, and head to her marketing job by 8:15. Same routine every day. She was nothing if not consistent. The bike ride to Cedar Lane took 15 minutes, though it felt like hours. My legs pumped with a mixture of adrenaline and dread. The shirt was in my backpack, evidence, though, of what I still wasn't entirely sure. Maybe there was an explanation. Maybe the running group met at someone's house. Maybe they did yoga or strength training or group meditation. Maybe I was overreacting. But I knew I wasn't. Deep down, in that part of your gut that knows the truth before your brain admits it, I knew exactly what I was going to find. I turned onto Cedar Lane at 6:52 a.m. It was a nice street in a newer development, the kind with underground utilities and HOA requirements. 2-story homes with 2-car garages, manicured lawns, decorative mailboxes. The American dream in architectural form. Number 1847 was a gray house with white trim and black shutters. A basketball hoop stood in the driveway. The landscaping looked professionally maintained with those perfectly rounded shrubs that cost a fortune to keep shaped. And there, on the porch, were Sarah's purple running shoes. Her shoes. Her favorite pair of Brooks Ghost 14S that I'd bought her for her birthday just 4 months ago. She'd been so excited. "They're perfect, Jake. Exactly what I needed for my runs." And had worn them every morning since. Those shoes, sitting on some stranger's porch like she lived there, like she belonged there, like this was normal. I parked my bike behind a large oak tree across the street. From there, I could see the front of the house clearly. Sarah's water bottle, the insulated one with "Mom runs this town" printed on it, sat on a small table next to a porch chair. Her armband phone holder, the pink one Emma had given her for Mother's Day, lay beside it. Her GPS watch, still tracking her run, was there too. Rage and clarity hit simultaneously. This wasn't a running group. This had never been a running group. Every morning for 3 months, my wife had been leaving our house at 5:30 a.m. to come here. To this house. To whoever lived at 1847 Cedar Lane. I walked up to the door, my heart pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. Through the front window, I caught a glimpse of the living room. Men's sneakers by the door, New Balance size 11 or 12. A gym bag that wasn't Sarah's, black with red trim. A protein shaker on the coffee table. I knocked, loudly. 3 sharp raps that echoed in the quiet morning. "Delivery for Sarah Brown!" I called out, trying to keep my voice steady, normal, like I wasn't standing on the precipice of destroying my life as I knew it. I heard footsteps inside, slow at first, then quicker. The door opened. Sarah stood there in the man's bathrobe. Navy blue terry cloth, way too big for her, the belt wrapped twice around her small waist. Her hair was messed up, not in the ponytail she always wore for running. Her face was flushed in a way that had nothing to do with exercise. She held a coffee mug that read, "World's Best Trainer," in bold red letters. The color drained from her face in an instant. "Jake?" Her voice was barely a whisper. "What are you—" "Hi, honey." I smiled, though it felt like my face might crack from the effort. "Forgot your protein shake. Car wouldn't start, so I biked over. Thought I'd catch you at your running group. Whose house is this?" I watched her mind work, trying to find an explanation, an excuse, anything. Her mouth opened and closed like a fish out of water. The coffee mug trembled in her hands. This is—" she stammered, clutching the robe tighter. A man appeared behind her, shirtless. Athletic build that spoke of hours in the gym. Definitely size large. Dark hair still wet from what I assumed was a very recent shower. He had those abs you see in fitness magazines, a tribal tattoo wrapping around his left shoulder, and the confident posture of someone who'd never been punched in the face. "Everything okay, babe?" he said before he saw me. His face went through the same transformation as Sarah's, confusion to recognition to pure panic. "Oh shit! Babe?" The word exploded out of me as I pushed past Sarah into the house. "Babe?" The man, mid-30s, muscular in that gym rat way that requires supplements and careful dieting, backed up, hands raised in a placating gesture. "Hey man, let's be cool." "Cool? Cool." I pulled the shirt from my backpack, holding it up like evidence in a courtroom. "This yours? Found it in my wife's car." Sarah grabbed my arm, her fingers digging in desperately. "Jake, please, let me explain." "Explain what?" "That your running group is just this guy's bedroom." I looked around, taking in the scene with the clarity of someone whose worst suspicions were being confirmed in real time. Sarah's running clothes were on the living room floor. The black Lululemon sports bra I'd bought her for Christmas, her pink shorts, her moisture-wicking socks turned inside out. 2 coffee cups on the counter, both with cream residue suggesting intimate knowledge of how each took their coffee. A bottle of massage oil on the side table that definitely wasn't for treating running injuries. "How long has this been going on?" The man stepped forward, trying to project authority despite being shirtless in his own home. "Look, dude, maybe you should—" "Maybe I should what?" I got in his face. We were about the same height, but rage made me feel 10 feet tall. "You're sleeping with my wife every morning and you want to give me advice." "Jake!" Sarah tried to get between us, the robe gaping slightly in her haste. "Violence won't solve—" "Who said anything about violence?" I pulled out my phone and started recording. Just documenting Sarah's morning workout routine. Very athletic. Much cardio. I walked through the house like a crime scene investigator, filming everything with the steady hand of someone operating on pure adrenaline. Here's Sarah's sports bra on his bedroom floor. Lululemon, the expensive one I bought her for Christmas because she said she needed good support for running. Stop! Sarah tried to grab the phone, but I easily kept it out of reach. Here's her Garmin watch on his nightstand, the one that's supposed to be tracking her 5-mile run. I zoomed in on the nightstand, catching something that made my stomach turn. Next to what looks like, oh, that's interesting, her wedding ring. Fascinating choice of accessories for running. I pushed open the bathroom door. Here's the shower. Still wet, steam on the mirror. 2 towels, his and hers, how romantic. Oh, and look, women's shampoo that definitely isn't the brand at our house. Living the full double life, aren't we? I turned the camera on them. Sarah had her arms crossed, desperately trying to hold the robe closed. The man, Ryan, I'd learn later, stood behind her, having grabbed a pair of gym shorts from somewhere. And here's my wife of 15 years in another man's robe at 7:03 a.m. Say hi to my lawyer, Sarah, and say hi to the judge who's going to love this evidence. The man finally found his voice, trying for tough, but achieving something closer to whiny. You're trespassing, and you're trespassing in my marriage. I spotted mail on the counter, walked over and picked it up. Ryan Mitchell? That your name? Good to know. Personal trainer at Fit Life Gym according to this pay stub? Wow, they pay you pretty well. Do they know you're providing such personal services? Is sleeping with clients part of the premium package? Jake, you don't understand, Sarah started, her voice shaking. Ryan and I... Oh, I understand perfectly. I kept filming, making sure to get clear shots of everything. 3 months of lies, 3 months of running group, 3 months of me watching the kids in the morning so you could come here and... Don't make this ugly, Ryan interrupted, finding some courage now that he had shorts on. Ugly? Ugly? I could feel something snapping inside me. You want to see ugly? This is just documentation, buddy. Ugly is what's about to happen to both your lives. I stormed onto the porch. The sun was properly up now, casting long shadows across the manicured lawns. A few early morning dog walkers were out, and I could see curtains twitching in windows. Perfect. Good morning, Cedar Lane, I shouted at the top of my lungs. Jake, no! Sarah ran after me, the robe flapping open before she caught it. Just picking up my wife from her running group, I announced to the neighborhood. Lights flicked on in windows. A door opened across the street. She's been running here every morning. Great cardio program Ryan Mitchell offers. Very hands-on training. One-on-one attention. Really gets the heart rate up. An elderly woman in a housecoat and curlers stepped onto her porch. Is everything all right? Oh, everything's fantastic, ma'am. Just found out my wife's running group is actually one guy's bedroom. Isn't modern fitness amazing? Very exclusive membership. Only one member allowed. 2 more neighbors emerged. A man with his coffee and newspaper. A woman trying to wrangle her dog while watching the drama unfold. Jake, please stop! Sarah was crying now, mascara running down her face in black streams. Think about the kids! The kids? The kids? I pulled up Strava on my phone while she begged me to be quiet. You mean the kids you've been lying to every morning? Mommy's going running, sweethearts! Mommy's getting healthy! Remember? Emma asked why you never wanted to run on weekends. Now I know. Ryan doesn't work weekends, does he? I found her morning run and clicked edit. Let me update your run description for accuracy. I typed quickly, my fingers flying across the screen. 2 miles to Ryan Mitchell's house at 1847 Cedar Lane, 45 minutes of adultery, 3 miles home. Great workout. Husband approved. Not. 3 months of lies exposed. Check the GPS data. Every single morning at the same house. Running group =1 personal trainer's bed. I tagged Ryan Mitchell's Strava profile, which wasn't hard to find. His profile picture was him shirtless, flexing in a gym mirror. Of course it was. I added the address, selected public visibility, and posted it. There. Now your running group knows where to meet. Sarah's phone started pinging immediately. The real running group, the women she'd told me about, the ones who supposedly inspired her, were seeing the post in real time. "You're ruining everything!" Sarah sobbed, falling to her knees on the porch. "I'm ruining everything! Check your GPS, Sarah! You haven't run in months! Just this." I gestured at the house, at Ryan, who was now standing in the doorway looking like he wanted to disappear, at the whole sordid scene that was playing out in front of an increasingly large audience. More neighbors had gathered. Someone was definitely filming this on their phone. I heard someone whisper, "Isn't that the woman who lives on Oak Street?" Ryan came out, now wearing a tank top that said, "Train insane or remain the same," trying to salvage something from the wreckage. "Look, Jake, man to man." Man to man? A real man doesn't sleep with married women at 5 a.m. I got on my bike, but I wasn't done. A real man doesn't help destroy families. A real man doesn't pretend to be a fitness professional while providing horizontal cardio to other men's wives. Your marriage was already broken. Ryan shot back, his ego finally overriding his survival instinct. "Sarah told me." "Told you what? That I work hard to provide for my family? That I'm not some roided-up gym bro who hits on married women? That I actually care about more than my abs and my protein powder?" Sarah grabbed Ryan's arm. "No, let him talk," I said, standing with my bike between my legs. "I want to hear what lies you've been feeding him. That I'm absent? That I don't appreciate you? That we haven't been intimate? What was it, Sarah? What story did you spin to justify this?" She looked at the ground, unable to meet my eyes. "You don't understand? Then help me understand. Help me understand how you could look me in the eye every morning and lie. Help me understand how you could come home and kiss our children with the same mouth that—" I stopped myself. The neighbors were watching, and there were lines I wouldn't cross even now. Help me understand how you thought running at the same house for 45 minutes every morning wouldn't eventually be noticed? "Jake, please," Sarah whispered. "Can we talk about this at home?" "Home? You mean the house where you've been lying for 3 months? Where you've been playing happy family while running here every morning?" I shook my head. "Your stuff will be on the lawn when you get back. If you can run there, or maybe Ryan can drive you. He seems good at giving rides." "You can't just kick me out," Sarah protested. "I have rights." "And you had vows," I shot back. "Remember those? Love, honor, and cherish? Not run to another man's bed every morning." The elderly neighbor spoke up. "Young lady, I've seen you coming here every morning. Always thought it was odd for a running group to meet at a single man's house." Another neighbor chimed in. "My Ring camera has you on footage every day at 5:45 a.m. Happy to share that with whoever needs it." Ryan was looking increasingly uncomfortable as the neighborhood turned against them. "Maybe we should all just—" Just what? I asked. Just pretend this didn't happen. Just ignore 3 months of deception. Just act like you didn't know she was married. Her tan line from her wedding ring is literally visible right now. As I biked away, I could hear the neighbors talking, Sarah crying, Ryan trying to get everyone to disperse. But the damage was done. The truth was out, spreading through the neighborhood like wildfire. My phone exploded with notifications as I pedaled home. The Strava post was spreading faster than I could have imagined. Sarah's actual running group, a collection of local women who met at the park, were commenting in rapid succession. OMG, is this real? 45 minutes stationary every day? We thought you were just slow. Ryan Mitchell? The trainer from the gym? I knew something was off when she never wanted to run weekends. This is why she always had excuses for group runs. 3 months? By the time I got home, the post had been shared dozens of times. Comments poured in from mutual friends, co-workers, even some of my relatives who followed Sarah's fitness journey. New meaning to interval training. That's not how you get a runner's high cardio and betrayal. Efficient. Bros before homewreckers, Jake. We got you. This is the wildest Strava post I've ever seen. Suddenly, my 12-minute miles don't seem so bad. My phone rang. My brother Tom. Jake, what the hell? I just saw Sarah's Strava. It's exactly what it looks like, I said, pulling into my driveway. 3 months, Tom. Every damn morning. I found a man's shirt in her car, checked her GPS data, and found her at his house. Holy shit. Are you okay? Do you need me to come over? I need a lawyer and a locksmith, and probably a therapist, but that can wait. I'll call Davidson. He handled my buddy's divorce. And Jake? I'm sorry, man. Sarah always seemed so perfect. Yeah, well, apparently, perfect includes screwing her personal trainer every morning before work while I'm getting the kids ready for school. I worked fast once I got home. Called a locksmith, emergency service, expensive but worth every penny. While waiting, I started packing Sarah's things. 15 years of marriage reduced to garbage bags on the lawn. It was almost poetic in its simplicity. Her clothes went first. The lingerie I'd bought her for our anniversary, had she worn it for him? The dress she wore to Emma's school play last month. Was she thinking about him then? The running gear. God, so much running gear. Nike, Lululemon, Under Armour. Hundreds of dollars of athletic wear for her fictional running group. All of it reeked of lies now. I found the running journal she'd been keeping, flipped through it out of morbid curiosity. Entries about pushing through barriers and finding her strength, and the group really motivated me today. All fake, all lies. Every entry a fabrication to support her deception. Mrs. Patterson from next door came out around 7:45. She was 75, widowed, and had been our neighbor since we moved in 8 years ago. Jake, dear, I heard the commotion earlier. Is everything all right? I paused, holding a bag full of Sarah's shoes. Saw my wife's run this morning, Mrs. P. Turns out she's been doing a different kind of exercise. She pursed her lips in that way older women do when they're holding back opinions. I wondered why she never looked sweaty when she came home. Real runners look exhausted. She always looked refreshed. Yeah, well, showering at your boyfriend's house will do that. Oh, honey. She patted my arm with her wrinkled hand. Let me get you some coffee. You look like you need it. And maybe something stronger for later. The locksmith arrived at 8:15, A burly guy named Carl who took one look at the bags on the lawn and didn't ask questions. Just got to work. Professional courtesy for the obviously betrayed. Sarah's car pulled up at 8:20, Ryan driving. She saw the bags on the lawn and jumped out before he'd fully stopped. "You can't do this. This is my house, too." "Correction," I said from the doorway, Carl working on the locks beside me. "This was your house. Before you decided Ryan's house was better. Every single morning." "The kids will be home from school at 3:30, Sarah said, her voice shaking. "What am I supposed to tell them?" "The truth," I suggested. "That mommy decided her running group was more important than her family? That mommy's been lying for 3 months? That mommy's GPS doesn't lie even when she does?" "That's not fair." "Fair?" I felt my control slipping. "You want to talk about fair? Fair is being honest with your spouse. Fair is not sneaking around. Fair is not making me feel crazy for noticing you seemed happier lately, thinking it was because of exercise when really it was because you were getting your back blown out by a personal trainer every morning." "Jake!" Ryan stepped out of the car, apparently deciding to be a tough guy. "Maybe we should all calm down and—" "Get back in your car before I calm down all over your face," I said quietly. "This is between me and my wife, my soon-to-be ex-wife, the one you've been training every morning." Mrs. Patterson appeared with coffee and a look that could freeze hell. "Young man, I suggest you leave. This is a family neighborhood. We don't appreciate homewreckers here." Other neighbors were watching now. The Johnsons from 2 houses down. The new couple with the baby. The teenager from across the street who was definitely live streaming this. All witnessing Sarah's humiliation. "Jake, please," Sarah begged. "Can we just talk inside? Privately? Like you talked privately with Ryan every morning?" "No thanks. Get your stuff and go. The locks are already being changed. Carl here is almost done, aren't you, Carl?" Carl nodded. "5 more minutes, Mr. Brown." My phone buzzed. A text from my boss. "Jake, someone just sent me a Strava link. Do you need the day off?" Then another from a coworker. "Bro, is this real? Your wife's GPS?" Another from my mom. "Jake, honey, what's happening? Aunt Carol just sent me something about Sarah?" The digital age meant that Sarah's infidelity was spreading faster than any gossip network could have managed. Within an hour, everyone we knew would know exactly what she'd been doing every morning. "You've destroyed my reputation!" Sarah wailed. "How could you do this to me? How could I? How could I?" I laughed, but there was no humor in it. "You've been cheating for 3 months! You lied to me, to our kids, to everyone! But sure, I'm the bad guy for exposing it. You didn't have to make it public. You made it public when you posted fake runs on Strava. You made it public when you told everyone about your amazing running group. I just added the truth to your fiction." By 10 a.m., I was sitting in David Davidson's office. Tom was right. He was good. Shark-like even, which was exactly what I needed. Strava data showing 3 months of stationary GPS at another man's house? Davidson looked through the screenshots I'd printed. During supposed exercise? Timestamps showing 45 minutes every single morning? This is the easiest adultery case I've ever seen. "She'll probably claim I ambushed and humiliated her," I said. "Did you physically harm anyone?" "No." "Threaten anyone?" "No." "Well, I told Ryan I'd calm down all over his face, but I didn't actually do anything." Davidson waved that off. "Empty words in the heat of the moment. You documented evidence of an affair and informed interested parties. That's not illegal. Embarrassing for her? Yes. Illegal? No. He leaned back in his leather chair. The Strava post was brilliant, actually. Time-stamped, location-tagged proof. She can't deny it. Can't claim it was a one-time thing. 3 months of data showing the exact same pattern. What about the kids? How old? Emma's 12, Tyler's 10. Old enough to have input on custody, given the evidence of deception and the fact she was prioritizing her affair over family time. He made notes on a legal pad. We have a strong case for primary custody. I don't want to keep her from them, I said, surprising myself with my own fairness. I'm angry, but they need their mother. You're a good father, Jake. We'll request primary physical custody with generous visitation, but document everything from now on. Every interaction, every text, every pickup and drop-off. Download those Strava records before she deletes them. Screenshot everything. Already done. I've got 3 months of GPS data saved. Smart man. Now let's talk about assets. The next few days were a blur of legal procedures, awkward conversations, and digital fallout. Sarah stayed with Ryan initially, but that lasted exactly 1 week. Hard to build a relationship when everyone knows it started by destroying a marriage. Hard to be romantic when the entire city has seen your girlfriend's GPS data proving she's a cheater. The running group expelled Sarah. The group admin, a woman named Patricia, sent me a message. We're all horrified, Jake. We had no idea. She told us she was running solo in the mornings because of her schedule. We actually thought she was dedicated. We're so sorry. Ryan lost his personal training certification when FitLife Gym found out. Turns out, sleeping with clients is against their code of conduct. Who knew? He also lost most of his other clients. Turns out married women don't want to train with a known homewrecker. Sarah tried damage control. She called, texted, emailed. It's not what you think. We were just friends at first. I was going to tell you. I never meant for it to happen. You've been distant lately. I felt unappreciated. Ryan listened to me. I responded once. Your GPS doesn't lie, Sarah. 45 minutes every morning for 3 months isn't an accident. It's a choice. 90 choices, actually. 1 for every morning you chose him over us. And I listened to you too. I just didn't know you were lying every time you spoke. The hardest part was telling the kids. We sat them down together that weekend. My lawyer advised it, said it would show cooperation for custody purposes. Mom and Dad need to talk to you about something important, I started, my heart breaking as I looked at their innocent faces. Emma, always perceptive, narrowed her eyes. She looked so much like her mother it hurt. Are you getting divorced? Madison's parents got divorced last year. Sarah started crying. I kept my voice steady. Yes, sweetheart. Mom and Dad are going to live in different houses. Why? Tyler asked, his 10-year-old face scrunched in confusion. Did we do something wrong? No, buddy, never think that. This is about Mom and Dad, not you. You two are perfect. Is it because Mom was going to that man's house instead of running? Emma asked quietly. Sarah's face went white. How did you... Madison's older sister saw the Strava post. Everyone at school knows. They were talking about it at lunch. And there it was. In the age of social media, even middle schoolers knew about Sarah's affair. The digital scarlet letter was complete. I'm sorry, Sarah whispered. I'm so sorry. Sorry you did it, or sorry you got caught? Emma asked, sounding far too mature for 12. Emma, Sarah gasped. What? That's what Madison's mom asked her dad. And it's a fair question, isn't it? Tyler started crying. I don't want two houses. I want us to be normal. I want Mom to really go running and Dad to not be sad. I pulled him into a hug. I know, buddy. I want that too. But sometimes adults make mistakes that can't be fixed. Like when I broke Mom's vase and we couldn't glue it back together. Yeah, I said, my voice thick. Exactly like that. Emma looked at her mother with eyes that seemed far too knowing. Was he worth it, Mom? Was Ryan worth breaking our family? Sarah sobbed harder. Even I thought that was harsh, but I didn't correct Emma. The truth hurts, and Sarah had brought this on herself. 6 months later, life had settled into a new rhythm. I had the kids Monday through Friday. Sarah got them weekends, though Emma often found excuses to stay with me. Dad doesn't lie, she'd told the custody evaluator, unprompted. That single statement had done more for my custody case than any amount of evidence. I'd joined an actual running group. Ironic, but it helped with the stress. Real runners, real routes, real sweat. No 45-minute stops at anyone's house. On my 3rd week, someone recognized me. You're the Strava guy! A woman named Michelle laughed. That post was legendary. My ex was cheating too, but I didn't have GPS proof. Not my proudest moment, I admitted, though I wasn't really ashamed. Are you kidding? You exposed a cheater with her own fitness data. That's genius. You gave hope to betrayed spouses everywhere. We ran together sometimes after that. Then coffee after runs, then dinner. Michelle was divorced, a nurse, mother of twin boys Tyler's age. She showed me her Strava routes, joking, "See? Constant movement. No 45-minute stops. Though I actually do stop at Starbucks sometimes, but only for like 5 minutes." Good to know, I laughed. Though I check Strava religiously now. Can't blame you. Your ex gave hitting the wall a whole new meaning. She definitely hit something, I agreed. Sarah and Ryan lasted exactly 73 days after the divorce was finalized. Hard to maintain passion when it's no longer secret, when everyone knows how it started, when the excitement of sneaking around is gone, when you can't go anywhere without someone recognizing you as that couple from the Strava scandal. She tried to reconcile after Ryan dumped her. Showed up one night after the kids were asleep, crying, begging. She'd lost weight, looked tired, older somehow. I made a mistake, a terrible mistake. Can't we try again? For the kids? The kids are doing fine, I said, not letting her in. Better than when their mother was lying every morning. I was lost, Jake. I felt invisible, unappreciated. So you made yourself visible to Ryan? At 5 a.m. every morning? I know how it looks. It looks like what it was, Sarah, an affair. A choice you made 90+ times. I started to close the door. The kids need you to be a good mother. Focus on that. We're done. Don't you miss us? Miss what we had? I miss who I thought you were, I said honestly. But that person probably never existed. The real you is someone who could lie to my face every morning for 3 months. I don't miss that person at all. I kept one souvenir from the whole mess. Ryan's Nike shirt. Used it as a garage rag. Oil stains, paint, general grime. It absorbed it all. Seemed fitting. When Michelle asked about it one day while helping me organize the garage, I told her the story. You kept it? She laughed. That's either very healthy or very weird. Maybe both. It reminds me that sometimes the worst things that happen to us clear the path for better things. She kissed me. Like meeting a woman who actually runs when she says she's running? Exactly like that. Plus, it's really absorbent. great for oil changes. You're ridiculous, she said, but she was smiling. The kids eventually adjusted. Tyler joined Little League, threw himself into sports with an intensity that probably came from wanting to control something in his life. Emma threw herself into art classes, painting abstract pieces that her teacher called emotionally mature. They spent weekends with Sarah, who'd moved to a small apartment across town. She seemed genuinely committed to rebuilding her relationship with them, though Emma remained coolly distant. "Dad," Emma asked one day while working on homework, "do you think you'll ever trust anyone again?" I thought about it carefully. "I trust you. I trust Tyler. I trust Michelle. But really trust? The way you trusted Mom. Maybe not the same way, but that's not necessarily bad. Trust should be earned, not just given. And when someone shows you who they are, like Mom did with her choices, you believe them." "Michelle seems nice," Emma said carefully. "She actually sweats when she runs." "That's because she actually runs," I said. "And she doesn't wear makeup to exercise like Mom did." "Nope." "And her Strava is boring, just running, no weird stops." "Very boring," I agreed. "Wonderfully, honestly boring." Emma smiled. "Good. We need boring." The final irony came when I ran my first half marathon. The actual running group, the one Sarah had pretended to be part of, had adopted me as an honorary member. They called themselves the GPS Verified Runners after the incident, even made t-shirts with the slogan, "No stationary stops." At the finish line, I saw her. Sarah, standing off to the side with a small sign that read, "Sorry." I jogged over, still catching my breath. "What are you doing here?" "I wanted to support you. I know I don't have the right, but I'm proud of you, Jake. You took something awful and turned it into something positive." "Thanks," I said, meaning it. The anger had faded over the months, replaced by something like pity. She looked smaller somehow, diminished. "How are you?" "Getting therapy. Running. Actually running. Trying to figure out who I am when I'm not lying." "Good. The kids need that version of you." "Do you ever think—" "No," I said gently but firmly. "Some things can't be undone, Sarah, but we can move forward separately and be good parents. That's enough." She nodded, tears in her eyes. "For what it's worth, Ryan wasn't worth it. Nothing was worth losing you and almost losing the kids." "I know," I said. "You figured that out 73 days too late." "It was never about him," she said quietly. "It was about feeling alive again, feeling wanted, feeling like more than just a mom and wife." "You were always more than that," I said. "You just forgot. And instead of talking to me about it, you ran to someone else." "I ran away from myself," she corrected, "and crashed right into consequences." I nodded. There was nothing more to say. We'd never be friends, but we could be co-parents. That would have to be enough. 2 years later, I married Michelle in a small ceremony. Emma was my best person, Tyler the ring bearer. Sarah sent a card, "Be happy. You deserve it." Which was more grace than I'd expected. The Strava incident became local legend, a cautionary tale about digital footprints and the dangers of thinking you're clever. I heard from other betrayed spouses who'd found inspiration in checking their partner's fitness apps. "You started a movement," one guy told me. "The Strava sleuths. We even have a Facebook group." I never set out to be anyone's inspiration. I was just a man whose truck wouldn't start on a Monday morning, who found another man's shirt in his wife's car, who followed digital breadcrumbs to a painful truth. But here's what I learned. The truth always surfaces. Whether it's GPS data, a forgotten shirt, or just the weight of lies becoming too heavy to carry, deception has an expiration date. Sarah thought she was being clever, hiding her affair behind the healthy facade of a running group. She thought those early morning hours were her secret. But every lie leaves a trail. Hers just happened to be GPS tracked and publicly uploaded. She forgot that in 2024, privacy is an illusion and digital footprints are forever. She forgot that Strava wasn't just tracking her runs, it was documenting her choices. She forgot that when you share your location for safety, you're also sharing your secrets. In the end, she ran straight into the consequences of her choices. And me? I found my way to a better path, one step at a time. Real runs with real runners. Real love with someone who valued honesty. Real happiness that didn't require deception. Some people run from their problems. Sarah ran straight to hers, every morning at 5 a.m. for exactly 45 minutes at 1847 Cedar Lane. And when the truth caught up? Well, that's when the real marathon began. The divorce was finalized exactly 1 year after I found the shirt. I kept the house. Sarah couldn't afford it on her own, and the kids needed stability. She got alimony for 2 years and shared custody, though as I mentioned, Emma usually found ways to stay with me. Ryan tried to resurface once, about 6 months after he and Sarah split. Sent me a Facebook message. "Hey man, I just wanted to say I'm sorry about everything. I didn't know she was going to leave you. She said you guys were basically separated." I screenshot it and sent it to Sarah with one word. "Really?" She called me crying. "I never said that. I told him we were having problems." "Were we?" I asked. "Because I thought we were fine. Not perfect, but fine." I created problems in my head to justify what I was doing," she admitted. "I convinced myself you didn't love me anymore because you didn't notice I'd lost 5 pounds. I told myself you were checked out because you fell asleep watching TV. I manufactured a crisis so I wouldn't feel guilty." And how'd that work out? "I lost everything that mattered for something that didn't matter at all," she said quietly. "I traded a real marriage for a fantasy. And the worst part? The absolute worst part? The kid will never look at me the same way. Emma asked me last week if I was running when I went to the grocery store. She'll forgive you eventually," I said, though I wasn't sure that was true. Kids are resilient. Tyler asked if you and Michelle are going to get married. I had to pretend to be happy about it. Are you happy about it? I'm happy you're happy, she said carefully. I'm happy the kids have stability. I'm happy you found someone who actually appreciates you. But am I happy that another woman is living in what used to be my house, making breakfast in what used to be my kitchen, tucking in what are still my kids? No, I'm not that evolved. You made choices, Sarah. I know. Believe me, I know. Every morning at 5:30, I know. That used to be our time, remember? Before the kids woke up, we'd have coffee together, plan our day. Now I wake up at 5:30 and remember that I threw it all away for a guy who thought leg day was a personality trait. I almost felt bad for her. Almost. The wedding to Michelle was perfect in its simplicity. No lies, no pretense, no secret GPS coordinates. Just two people who'd learned from their past mistakes promising to do better. Emma's speech as my best person was short but powerful. My dad taught me that when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Michelle shows us every day that she's genuine, kind, and actually goes where she says she's going. That's all we need. Sarah wasn't invited, obviously, but she drove by during the reception. Michelle saw her first. Is that? Yeah, I said. Just ignore her. Should we be worried? No, she's just grieving what she threw away. It'll pass. Later that night, Sarah texted me. Michelle looked beautiful. You looked happy. I'm glad. I didn't respond. Some conversations are better left unfinished. The kids thrived in the new normal. Tyler became a star pitcher, his anger channeled into fastballs. Emma's art evolved from abstract pain to something more hopeful. She even painted a family portrait that included Michelle, a sign of acceptance that meant more than words. Do you think Mom will ever be happy again? Tyler asked one day after a weekend visit. I hope so, I said honestly. Everyone deserves a second chance at happiness. She just has to figure out what that looks like for her. She's dating someone, Emma said quietly. Some guy named Marcus. He doesn't have Strava. Smart choice, I muttered. She made us promise not to tell you. Then why are you telling me? Because secrets are stupid, Emma said firmly, and I'm not keeping any for anyone. Not after, I hugged her. My daughter had learned a hard lesson about honesty, but at least she'd learned it. As for me, I still run. Still check Strava religiously. Old habits die hard. But now I run with Michelle, with real friends, with people who understand that exercise is about health, not deception. My routes are boring, predictable, honest. No 45-minute stops, no mysteries, no lies. Sometimes I pass Cedar Lane on my runs. The house at 1847 has new owners now. Ryan couldn't afford it after losing his job and most of his clients. There's a minivan in the driveway, kids' toys on the lawn. A normal family living a normal life in a house that was ground zero for my marriage's destruction. I don't slow down when I pass it. Don't feel anger or sadness anymore. It's just a house where something ended, and in a weird way, where something better began. Because without that Monday morning, without that dead battery, without that Nike shirt hidden under the seat, I'd still be married to a woman who could smile at me every morning while lying through her teeth. The truth has a way of surfacing, whether we want it to or not. Sarah learned that the hard way. She thought she was smart, using a fitness app as cover for an affair. She thought 5:30 a.m. was too early for anyone to notice. She thought 45 minutes wasn't long enough to matter. She thought wrong. Now, when people ask me for relationship advice, I tell them this: pay attention. Not in a paranoid way, but in a present way. Notice changes. Ask questions. And if something feels off, trust your gut. Because your gut doesn't lie. And maybe check their Strava. Just saying.